Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last time is now John Cena final opponent tournament. We are jumping straight into things. As a quick reminder of what happened last week, let's go ahead and open up my journal. So the matchups that we saw last week were Obafemi versus Damian Priest, where Obafemi was able to move on to the next round. We saw Rusev versus Sheamus, where Rusev was able to move on to the next round. Uncle Howdy versus The Miz. Uncle Howdy moving on to the next round. AJ Styles versus Nick Nemeth, where AJ Styles moved on to the next round. Braun Strowman versus Randy Orton, where Randy Orton moved on to the next round. Trick Williams versus Dirty Dom, with Dirty Dom moving on to the next round. Javon Evans versus the Reign General Gunther, as Gunther moved on to the next round. And Joe Hendry versus Rey Mysterio, where Rey Mysterio moved on to the next round. And out here tonight, we will be seeing Obafemi versus Rusev, Uncle Howdy versus AJ Styles, Randy Orton versus Dirty Dom, and Gunther versus Rey. So the winner of Oba versus Rusev faces off against the winner of Uncle Howdy versus AJ Styles. And then the winner of Randy versus Dirty Dom faces off against the winner of Gunther and Rey Mysterio. And we'll find out those winners here tonight. As for our first matchup, we have the ruler Obafemi. He is working double shifts, man, as tomorrow night he has Halloween Havoc, and he'll be fighting for the NXT Championship. So wants to keep moving forward in this, but also wants to become NXT Champion for a second time. He's going to have to try to put this match away quickly so that he doesn't take a lot of damage physically. But against someone like Rusev, even if somehow Obafemi, makes it a pretty quick match, it is still going to be a rough match because of the type of superstar that Rusev is. So it is going to be a difficult situation for Obafemi. And it's kind of like, do you want to win here today and then have the, high chance of you being very torn up and injured and just sore for tomorrow? Or would you rather, kind of lose this match kind of quick, be secured for tomorrow? Or are you trying to go big and gamble and, put all eggs in one basket and win here tonight and try to go all in to winning tomorrow night? I have known Obafemi for quite some time, and knowing him, he's going to try to go all in. He's going to try to win tonight, win tomorrow night, move on to the next round, and face either Uncle Howdy or AJ Styles, and tomorrow night go ahead and try to become the new NXT champion. That's where I see things going, but of course, that is just my prediction. We'll see how things actually end up going. As, Obafemi is not going to have an easy task ahead of him. He has Rusev returning from the Abyss, now looking to become John Cena's final opponent. So right here, Obafemi with a bit of a cheap shot, but looking to do whatever it takes in order to win this match. Obafemi has already been able to put away a former world champion, and Damian Priest, on the other hand, Rusev, I don't think he's been a world champion here within the WWE. Let's see. So as far as I know, he's he's won the United States Championship 4 times. And it looks to me like that's about it. He hasn't held any tag team gold. Has not held... I don't think he's held the World Championship. He hasn't held the Intercontinental Championship. But nevertheless, here tonight, if Obafemi is able to put Rusev away, he is putting someone huge away. Let's see, has Rusev ever been World Champion in WWE? Let's see, is Obafemi right here trying to continue? And no, Rusev has never been a World Champion in WWE. However, just a 3-time United States champion. Of course, he has had some big feuds alongside John Cena and Roman Reigns, but never held a world championship within WWE. But once again, nevertheless, if Obafemi is able to get the victory here tonight, it would still be a very, very impressive victory to be able to put someone away like Rusev, who is still a very big star, and even at this age, still capable of huge things. Obafemi would have no easy road to try to be the final opponent, as after this, Uncle Howdy, who has the skills at becoming a world champion. I mean, we saw him, he almost beat John Cena, or AJ Styles, and then it would either be Randy Orton, 14-time, I believe, world champion, or Gunther, or Rey Mysterio, or Dirty Dom. Maybe Dirty Dom would be the easiest finale, but the chances of him being able to make it on would be nearly impossible. But what isn't impossible is Obafemi beating Rusev, as he has just done it right there in some quite quick fashion. I do think he was a favorite coming into this match, and he proves that exactly. It's just like that, Rusev has been eliminated, and Obafemi moves on to the next round. Will he either face Uncle Howdy or AJ Styles? I believe that match is up next, so we will be able to find out instantly who the opponent of Obafemi will be. But for now, the celebrations begin for Obafemi, as well as preparation for tomorrow night, as once again he does have that championship match for the NXT championship against Javon Evans tomorrow night. So surely he's going to want to go ahead and try to rest up as much as possible to be able to be maybe not necessarily at 100%, but just to the best of his capability, be as peak performance for tomorrow night in order to be able to try to become the NXT champion once again. But anyhow, we now move on to our next match. We have Uncle Howdy versus AJ Styles. Winner of this match will go ahead and face off against the ruler, Obafemi. So that is very interesting, as much as I just mentioned that Obafemi is bound to be, resting up right now and just recharging for a bit and preparing for tomorrow night. He is also probably going to be keeping an eye out on this match to find out who his opponent will be next weekend. And the crazy thing, for next weekend, we will be hosting both the semifinals and finals all in one night. So whoever ends up winning, the winners of the semifinals, get a little bit of a break, but then back onto it within that same night, back into the finals. That's going to make things very interesting, as Uncle Howdy coming out alongside Joe Gacy, Dexter Lomas, Nikki Cross, and Eric Rowan, the Wyatt Six. It's going to be very interesting to see Uncle Howdy here tonight against AJ Styles, who more likely than not will come out accompanied by, what is his name? Omos. But we'll see how things go. I'm not sure if AJ Styles or Uncle Howdy have ever had a match against each other, even Bo Dallas versus AJ Styles. Let's see, has Uncle Howdy ever faced AJ Styles? So it seems as though they have never had a one-on-one match. Yeah, so it looks like they haven't. So this is very exciting to be able to see how things go here tonight, as the TNA World Champion AJ Styles, accompanied by Omos, they go by the name of the Shadow Riders. And here tonight, a big opportunity for both Uncle Howdy and AJ Styles. Of course, we already had seen Uncle Howdy have a match against John Cena, and we saw how Uncle Howdy is very capable of beating John Cena. Would that continue if he were to be John Cena's final opponent? I'm not sure. But John Cena has a very big opportunity at potentially becoming an Intercontinental Champion and a Grand Slam Champion, I believe, as John Cena. Hold on, I may have just spoiled it. I'm not sure if this already happened. Let me double check real quick just in case, because your boy be forgetting some stuff. Alright. Let me just see, because, bad memory. That might be happening this Monday. And if so, my apologies. No. This already happened. Okay. So this Monday we should be seeing John Cena versus the Intercontinental Champion. Pen opportunity for John Cena to be able to become a Grand Slam champion. I know it means, a decent amount to John Cena to be able to call himself a Grand Slam champion, but I definitely think it's more for the fans. I think it means more to the fans that he becomes a Grand Slam champion than it means to John Cena himself. But anyhow, this match has now officially begun. AJ Styles, Uncle Howdy, who will be able to move on to the next round as AJ Styles trying to use the ropes in order to add a little bit of extra weight onto that pinfall. Now Uncle Howdy looking for a pinfall of his own. AJ Styles able to quickly kick out as now a big knee drop straight onto the face of AJ Styles. Uncle Howdy, of course, definitely has the number of games advantage, but Uncle Howdy usually isn't one to try to be within the cheating fashion. We don't see it too often, but nevertheless, if it has to be done, if that is our goal, then it will happen, as we do see Omos throwing a sledgehammer inside of the ring. AJ Styles and Omos definitely are the type to try to cheat their way into a victory, at least this current AJ Styles, who was forced by Karrion Kross to join, the dark side, and I'm not sure how long this will have to go for, or how things will go with AJ Styles. It's not like he's some big blown bad guy. You're being forced to be a bad guy. It's hard to be a bad guy when you're being forced to be. So it's kind of like the same AJ Styles, just a little bit of trickery here and there, but AJ Styles may be able to put this match away nice and quickly as a big frog splash looking into the pinfall. 1, 2. Okay, got a 2 by Uncle Howdy, but AJ Styles looking to put this match away nice and early, and things are now looking tricky here for Uncle Howdy. As AJ Styles now, what is he looking to do? Looking for a submission hold. Can he go ahead and make Uncle Howdy tap? Is AJ Styles going to be able to make Uncle Howdy tap in order to move on to the next round? Winner of this, as a reminder, faces off against the... Faces off against the Ruler, Obafemi. And Uncle Howdy able to escape. And now Uncle Howdy back on the attack, allowing AJ Styles to now receive a taste of this old medicine, at least for a bit he was, as AJ Styles now switching things around, and AJ Styles gonna look for the Styles Clash, and that's gotta be the end of this. There is no way Uncle Howdy kicks out. 1, 2, 3. Referee takes a while, but nevertheless, no, Uncle Howdy able to kick out. The referee distracted, I believe, with Omos. And that may have just costed the match for AJ Styles, who was definitely going to be able to get the 3 count right there. But thanks to the distraction of the referee, not able to get the 3 count, now sent into the bare turnbuckle. Now looking for the pinfall once more. 1, 2, 3. And that was a final blow. The unpadded turnbuckle allows AJ Styles to be able to move on to the next round. The Wyatt 6 watching disappointment. But nevertheless, it is the TNA World Champion AJ Styles, accompanied by Omos, the Shadow Riders. AJ Styles will move on to the next round, and it will be the TNA World Champion AJ Styles versus the Ruler Obafemi in the semifinals matchup. And now we are moving to the other side of the bracket. We are going to go ahead and begin with the Viper, Randy Orton, the Legend Killer, facing off against Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Quite impressive to be able to have 2 Mysterios this deep into the tournament, and a possibility for both Mysterios to be able to meet up in the semifinals, but both have a huge task at hand. Dirty Dom having to beat the Viper, Randy Orton, and Rey Mysterio having to beat the Ring General Gunther. Going to be a tricky match for both of the Mysterios to be able to move on to the next round, but there is always a possibility Never say never, right? So, it would be quite incredible to be able to see a bit of a new spark within the rivalry of Dominic and Rey Mysterio. But of course, they got to get through their opponents here tonight first, which again is going to be quite tricky. So we'll see how things go. As first up, we do got the Viper, Randy Orton, facing off against Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Randy Orton having to get past Braun Strowman to be able to make it into the next round. Dirty Dom having to get past through the AAA Cruiserweight Champion, Trick Williams. If he wanted to, he could get another match against Trick, maybe beat him, and then earn himself a championship opportunity. But it seems as though Dirty Dominic Mysterio is just more focused on trying to become John Cena's final opponent, and that very well may be able to happen, as Dirty Dominic Mysterio is now on his way out. Dirty Dominic Mysterio is accompanied by... Is he accompanied by anyone? I can't see right now. Maybe if they flip the cameras, because I have very bad vision from this distance. Hello? I see Raquel Rodriguez. Dirty Dominic Mysterio is accompanied by Raquel Rodriguez. Liv Morgan, maybe? Hello? I only... okay. I think it's just Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez who are accompanying Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Maybe JD McDonough is hiding back there, but as far as my vision goes, I'm not able to see. Okay, thanks for the camera. No, JD McDonough is not here, so it would just be Raquel and Liv Morgan getting involved. More likely than not, gonna try to get involved in this match and try to help Dirty Dominic Mysterio be able to get the victory here tonight. But Randy Orton, I mean, excuse me, has experienced so much. I think that he knows how to handle people like that, people who try to get involved in matchups like that. So Randy Orton shouldn't be too worried about the numbers game in this match. I do think on paper it should be a very easy victory for Randy Orton. Well, maybe not too easy, but point is, on paper it should be a victory for Randy Orton, and he will surely move on to the next round. But of course, that is just on paper. There's a very big possibility that things end up going in the favor of Dirty Dominic Mysterio. But we'll see how things go as the match has now officially begun. Randy Orton versus Dirty versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio. As of course, still we'll find out later tonight. And technically, again, it's not a main event, but the final match of the night, we will find out the opponent to the winner of this match. So whoever wins this match will face either Gunther, the Ring General, or 619 Boyka and Rey Mysterio. So again, going to be an interesting matchup. As much as I do think that Randy and Gunther will both win their matches, I would not be mad with having two Mysterios in the semifinals just to see how those two interact. Of course, Rey Mysterio was moved over to SmackDown after a loss to Chad Gable, and we have not been able to see any sorts of talking or interrupting or inflicting between the two Mysterios. But we'll see how things go, because there definitely is a possibility that it happens in these semi-finals. As, at the moment, Randy Orton with a big knee drop trying to prove me wrong. And now Randy Orton charging up, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio may be in trouble. Maybe not for long as he's quickly able to counter. And now Dirty Dominic Mysterio was looking for the missile. Drop kick, but not able to get it done. And now Randy Orton once again charging up. Looking to put an end to this match. Big backbreaker. And I guess clothesline from the back of Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And of course, we have John Cena's final opponent right around the corner, but of course we still have oh my days. That was a very long yawn. My apologies. Of course, we still have the Royal Rumble Elimination Chamber. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, WrestleMania, which will put the end to Season 1 here in my universe. As Randy Orton may be able to put Dirty Dominic Mysterio away right here. And Dirty Dom with some big damage taken. And is Randy Orton going to look for the pinfall here? Is he going to look now for the RKO for the final blow? And here is where the numbers game do matter. Randy could have looked for the pinfall, could have looked for an RKO, but instead, thanks to a distraction. Oh my days. Sorry. Thanks to a distraction, Dirty Dom was able to get on the attack at least for a little bit. Instead, it is back to Randy Orton on the attack as Randy now going to go ahead and charge up. And things may be done here as RKO. And Dirty Dom may be out. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Randy Orton moves on. One semifinal confirmed. That is Oba Femi the Ruler versus AJ Styles. And the other one about to be confirmed as Randy Orton has just got his ticket to the semifinals of the last time is now John Cena final opponent tournament. And his opponent will either be the Ring General Gunther or Boyega 619. As for now, celebrations begin for Randy Orton as he continues to fight to try to become John Cena's final opponent. Of course, John Cena, Randy, huge history, arguably, well, the biggest rival to John Cena ever. And now it's time for the final match here tonight. The Ring General Gunther versus Rey Mysterio. It is time. So we know for sure we won't be having an all Mysterio semifinals, but as there's still a way for one of the biggest underdogs who still happens to be able to beat big guys like Gunther. Is there a possibility for Rey Mysterio to be able to move on to the next round, or is, well, Gunther just gonna beat up Rey Mysterio? Now we also got to thank Rey Mysterio just yesterday defended his, well, lost his WWE Tag Team titles to the Motor City Machine Guns, but what a match they had, right? It was a 22-minute match, I believe. The longest tag team match within the videos that we showcase here on the channel. The other one came in like around 16 minutes, and then 20 minutes if you count the entrances, including the entrances with Rey Mysterio. Was like 24 minutes, I think. So the longest match. He took a lot of damage. It was a very brutal, long matchup, so he is bound to be sore here tonight. We gotta understand that some of these guys are coming in here at a disadvantage. No title for Rey Mysterio here tonight. Not accompanied by Rey Fenix, but Gunther isn't accompanied by Ludwig Kaiser either, so no need to worry about the numbers game. But what I am worried about is, again, Rey Mysterio just had a brutal, incredible match, and well, it's going to be difficult for him already to beat Gunther, and now having already been worn down so much, it is going to make it that much harder. But I guess we'll see how things go as we got the final matchup here in what is technically the quarterfinals of this tournament. Gunther, the ring general, versus Rey Mysterio. The final matchup. And the next week we will have both these semis. And what else? And the finals all in one night. So again, that will also make things very interesting. As of course, oh look at Gunther trying to cheat his way to victory using the ropes. Referee noticed and decides he will no longer be counting. That is now a crossbody by Rey Mysterio as he now looks for the pinfall, not able to get things done there either. As we've been talking about some of the matches that could potentially occur. For John Cena's final opponent tournament, of course, it will be him versus his final opponent. More likely than not, going to go ahead and be the main event. I believe we will be seeing a legend in the women's division versus not a rookie, but a bit of a younger prospect, as well as one for the men's and then one for the tag team division. So just, I don't know, as an example, we could maybe see all the way from Evolve, the Vanity Project, Swipe Right versus the Hardys. And then on the women's side, we could see just an example again, Kendall Gray versus Charlotte Flair. And then another example again, we could see Jackson Drake versus Cody Rhodes. Just to give an example of what I mean by kind of young rookies versus more retired. This is all about giving opportunity to the new generation, as John Cena says his generation's time is up. It is their time now in Gunther to put the match away. Rey Mysterio maybe out 1, 2, 3, and there it is. Gunther moves on to the next round, and it will be Oba versus AJ. Gunther versus Randy next week. Congratulations to all who made it on to the next round. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys all tomorrow night.